In this video, I'm going to be showing you the blueprint for how to build your personal brand on YouTube. This blueprint has the potential to add tens of thousands of dollars in monthly revenue to your business. Think about it. If you're getting thousands of views from an audience of buyers on YouTube, you can easily convert those views into clients provided that you're using the correct strategy. And by the end of this video, you're going to know exactly how to do that. First off, why do you even need a YouTube channel in the first place? The first reason is that YouTube is the new TV. YouTube and social media generally have democratized broadcast, meaning that the cost of entry now is ideas and consistency on social platforms rather than capital like cable TV. Naturally, ad dollars always lag behind audience migration, meaning that attention on YouTube is still relatively underpriced relative to its reach potential. If you take a look at this chart here, we see that in 2023, YouTube beats TV for the first time ever. And then in 2025, just last year, social media beats TV. An important takeaway here is that YouTube, unlike cable TV, literally pays you ad dollars to be on their platform. Naturally, as competition grows, the reach potential is only going to go down, which is why you need to start YouTube sooner than later. The second reason you need a channel is the authenticity gap. Increasingly on Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, and TikTok, feeds are suffocating from AI slop. Whereas on YouTube, YouTube is one of the only platforms that's actively cracking down on AI content and AI generated channels. Because of this, YouTube is one of the only platforms where a founder with a camera and genuine insight can reach audiences that once required a network deal. And the third and final reason you need to be on YouTube is the algorithm. Naturally, YouTube, alongside other social medias, are transferring from social media to interest media. What this means is previously, if you were on Instagram or you were on YouTube, your feed was mostly populated by people that you were subscribed to, by people who you're connected with, by people who you were following. With interest media and the creation of the For You page, your feed is now populated with videos that the algorithm thinks that you're going to be interested in and not people that you're necessarily connected with. This is super important to take into account when it comes to small channels, because what this means is that previously it was extremely hard to compete with channels that had massive subscribers. But now if you dominate a small niche where people that have specific interests and specific things that they're searching for and problems that they have, you can target those problems with your channel and you will pop up on your ideal customers' recommended feeds. This means that it's dramatically easier to generate lots and lots of revenue from a small channel. Now, those three reasons sound great, but YouTube is still hyper competitive. So how do you position yourself in order to stand out on the platform? If you're running a business and you're thinking about getting started on YouTube, there's essentially two different paths that you can go down. You can go the traditional brand route or you can go the personal brand route. Individual personal brands, the trust accrues to you as the founder and expert. An example would be Alex Hormozi. And then a traditional brand account, whereas the trust accrues to the company or methodology. And the example here is Anthropic, the creator of Claude. An example of a large personal brand is Ali Abdaal. He has 5 million plus YouTube subscribers. He creates content on productivity tips, business strategies, and evidence-based advice. His monetization strategies around courses, AdSense, and sponsorships. And he's estimated to make around $5 million a year, mostly from his YouTube channel. An example of a traditional brand is Instantly AI. So they have 75,000 subscribers. Their content is around purely cold email tutorials, business growth, and marketing tutorials. They are a cold email sending tool. And their monetization model is built around software as a service. And their revenue is around $20 million in ARR. Now, this isn't entirely from YouTube, but a massive lead source from them is YouTube. And their strategy is around educational content, founder appearances, and traditional brand. In the majority of cases, you're going to want to choose personal brand over traditional brand. You want to use personal brand because trust occurs faster with founders rather than companies. You are the differentiator in a crowded market. So you yourself, not your brand or your logo, is the standout. It's much easier to stand out as a founder rather than a big brand name. You also want to choose personal brand if you're selling coaching, consulting, courses, or services, or if you're trying to build authority in your own space. This is going to be the default choice for about 95% of founders. Now, you should choose traditional brand only if you're building a company that you plan to sell and you want equity in the brand and not in your personal name, which is obviously extremely hard to sell. or if you have a methodology and framework that's bigger than one person. If you're building a platform business or marketplace, an example there would be WAP. Or you need brand equity separate from founder for venture capital and acquisition value. Similar idea as planning to sell. And even then, you as the founder should still appear within the content. Now, if you're creating content on YouTube, you can't just expect viewers to immediately buy your stuff if you haven't created a funnel that moves them through the stages of awareness. This is what I call the subscriber funnel. The first piece of the subscriber funnel is content. So you need different content that's going to appeal to different awareness levels within your audience. You need top of funnel content like how-tos, theory-based content, and listicles. This is going to be the majority of your top of funnel content. Lifestyle content is going to apply if you're selling info products to consumers or if you're selling transformation-based content. Middle funnel is going to be things like tutorials, mini courses, and non-student case studies. And then bottom of funnel is case studies, podcasts, and interviews. And those are going to be the types of content that allow viewers to spend the most time with you and tip them over the edge to take the next step. Now, the next piece of the subscriber funnel is lead magnets. YouTube subscribers are anonymous unless they have a public account. So you need a way for these anonymous subscribers to become leads, and that's exactly where lead magnets sit. So you're going to have a series of YouTube videos, and within the description, the pinned comment, and the CTAs from those videos, you are going to push that traffic towards lead magnets. This is going to allow you to generate leads from your content and build your email list. Now, the last part of the subscriber funnel is monetization. You need ways to generate revenue from your channel. And there's a ton of different ways on YouTube to do this. You can generate revenue just purely from posting content through YouTube CPMs. You can generate revenue through affiliates and brand deals. And then, of course, if you're running a business, then you're going to have high ticket services, info products, software products. It's going to depend on your specific offer suite. But in my opinion, if you're running a smaller channel that's focused on a small niche, the best way to monetize is through info products and high ticket services. If you're building a larger channel, then brand deals and affiliates can also be a great way to stack on revenue from your channel. But small channels, even with only a few hundred subscribers, can make tens of thousands of dollars just purely through high ticket services if they're operating in a small but wealthy niche. The whole concept of the subscriber funnel is built around value ladders. So it's much easier to get someone to consume some of your free YouTube content than it is to get them to try and purchase a high ticket program or service right off the bat. It's much easier to get them to opt into a lead magnet after they've already watched some of your free YouTube content. And then naturally, once they've been on your newsletter for a bit, it's going to be much easier to get them to the next stage, which is a purchase. The whole concept here is to get people to take small steps towards you rather than one giant leap. Now, we already spoke about the basics of positioning and traditional brand versus personal brand, but if you're in a competitive niche, how do you actually stand out on YouTube in 2026? The first and most obvious way is points of differentiation. There's 4 key ways that you can stand out on YouTube. The first way is access. People, places, your network, behind the scenes, early access to tools and products. If, for example, you have a network of 8, 9, or 10-figure CEOs that you're able to interview for your channel, that's going to be an easy way that you can have more access than another channel within your niche. The second way is skills, unique and valuable skills. If you have skills in AI, coding, copywriting, sales, and so on, then that's going to be another way that you can stand out. And then knowledge and experience. If you scaled and exited a company, that's a huge point of differentiation for Alex Hormozy. Or if you have a PhD in physics, if you've grown an IG account to 1 million followers, if you've grown a YouTube channel to 1 million subscribers, those are going to be great ways to stand out through knowledge and experience. And then personality. If you have a specific way that you deliver to the camera, if you have quirks, you have likeness, or you have appeal, maybe you're hot, those are going to be great ways to stand out on YouTube. Now, the second way that you can outposition your competition on YouTube is through ideation. Ideation is the biggest lever that you can pull for your videos to perform better. There are essentially 3 different ways that you can ideate: internal outliers, external outliers, and innovation. Internal outliers are essentially the top 10% of ideas that have worked not only on YouTube, but also on your Instagram Reels, your Twitter account, or your LinkedIn account. External outliers are high-performing ideas from other channels in your niche, adjacent, or in other spaces, larger channels, etc. And then the third way is innovation. If you have original takes or light bulb ideas, those are innovative ideas that are going to come through brainstorming. Now, how should you think about upload frequency as far as channel strategy? There's essentially 3 different ways. There's the sniper approach, the machine gun approach, and the hybrid approach. The sniper approach is a hyper focus on video quality, aiming for home runs with each upload where you're only making 1 to 2 videos per month. The machine gun approach is a focus on brute force success through volume, and this is where you're going to be uploading 2+ times per week. And then the hybrid approach is essentially a balance between the two. You're still shooting for outliers with quality, but you're still uploading quite consistently, about 1 time per week. Now, outside of ideas, the most powerful way that you can generate revenue and stand out on your channel is through ethical propaganda. Propaganda is defined as information that's used to promote a particular cause, doctrine, or point of view. The first way that you craft propaganda is through narratives. You want to develop distinct narratives that are different from anyone else in your space. The simple formula is to have an identity, a purpose, a common enemy, which is going to equal an engaged following. The identity is who you are, what you stand for, and what you stand against. Your purpose, why your audience follows. So it's a common goal that turns your passive viewers into an invested following who feel part of something worth fighting for. And then the common enemy, this is the catalyst. Maybe it's an industry practice you reject. Maybe it's an approach that your competitors take. It makes your work feel necessary and your audience feel understood. Some examples of narratives would be Ali Abdaal. So Ali Abdaal has the identity of an evidence-based optimist. His purpose is to help ambitious, burnt-out people build a life that they actually enjoy, offering a more efficient, evidence-based approach to success that doesn't require suffering. His common enemies are hustle culture, productivity for its own sake, and the belief that you're never doing or achieving enough. Another example would be Alex Hormozi. So his identity is the anti-guru. He's actually built and sold real businesses, and he's not someone who got rich selling courses about getting rich. He's always talking about, hey, I have nothing to sell you. His purpose is to help entrepreneurs build profitable businesses without the fluff. His common enemies are the guru economy, overpriced masterminds, vague motivational content, and lifestyle entrepreneurs. Now, my third example is Dan Koe. So Dan Koe has the identity of the thinking creator. He's a philosopher entrepreneur who believes most people are sleepwalking through life designed by someone else. So his content exists to help people escape the default life, the 9-to-5, the mindless consumption, the outsourced thinking, and build a one-person business around their mind and their ideas. His common enemy is unconscious living. It's the societal script that pushes people towards specialization, dependency, and comfort over curiosity. And if while I'm saying this, you're like, hey, I'm only trying to run a small channel just to get a couple clients for my agency, like I don't need to think about all this identity, purpose, and common enemy. So I just crafted up one for an example as a LinkedIn content agency. So their identity would be micro authority. You want to turn your client's expertise into authority, converting years of hard-won knowledge into content that attracts investors, talent, customers, and deals. The common enemy would be invisibility. So there's lots of brilliant founders and operators that are being outpositioned on LinkedIn simply because there's louder, less credentialed voices that kind of overwhelm them. You want to set up your narratives regardless of channel size and who you're selling to. This is one of the most powerful ways that you can go about scripting your videos and crafting copy around your offer. Now, the second way that you want to craft propaganda is through authority. You want to show that you actually are who you say you are. So it's case studies, it's exits, it's revenue and statistics, or it's platform growth. Maybe you grew a YouTube channel to 1 million YouTube subscribers and so on. This is an example of an article where it's showing Alex Hormozi. He bootstrapped the sale of his licensed company for 46 million, so on and so forth. And he constantly repeats metrics and proof and tries to show as much as possible that Alex is who he says he is. And then the third and final way that you want to use to craft propaganda is through collective support. You want to have a network of social proof who are going to vouch for you and your messages. So there's kind of 2 different ways that you can do this, or two to three different ways. So you can have people that, publicly vouch for you. In the case of Alex Becker, he's vouching for Alex's new book. And then if you go on podcasts, this is another way to amplify your message and get the support of the host and their audience. And then the third and final way would be if you have a ton of testimonials or 5-star reviews. that you are posting everywhere where people and clients are vouching for you and your message. If you've gotten to this point and you're sitting there going, what this guy is saying sounds good, but how do I actually know it works? Lucky for you, I recently recorded an entire interview with my client Liam, breaking down how he closes thousands of dollars in high ticket clients from a small YouTube channel. I'll link that right here. Check that out and I'll see you there. Peace.